Alrighty, we are live. Super exciting. Coming in hot on the day after Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving. Give everyone my Christmas present to myself is going to be an actual office chair because this chair just is not serving its purpose. So, going to give everyone, whoever is going to be able to jump on and join us, going to give them a few seconds to get here before I go blabbering all over the place. Hey, good morning, Annette. Thanks for joining. Um, so yesterday, a tradition that I have, holidays are really small for me. It's just me and my kids. So um, the past, I think 2, 3 years, I'm not really sure, we have been going to the movies on Thanksgiving Day and on Christmas Day. And I won't do any spoilers, but for those of you that are Marvel fans, Marvel movie fans, we saw Black Panther yesterday, Black Panther 2, and oh my God. So I loved the first one. I epically loved the second one. It was so incredibly amazing. Um, so yeah, all right. So what I wanted to talk about today was what what do you want your digital footprint to be? And I touched upon this a little bit on the other day when I was doing live, and it's so funny because I haven't seen that expression used anywhere, and of course I'm pretty disconnected when it comes to like online stuff. I don't do a lot of stuff online. Um, so of course it's not really a new concept. However, it is definitely a direction that I want to take people in thinking about. What is your purpose for being online? Um, and what do you ultimately want your digital footprint to be? So I did actually a really cool thing recently. I actually Googled myself, and my digital footprint is everywhere, right? Because I haven't had an online business for very long, but I've had an in-person business with people being able to find me by online resources. So um, it was actually pretty cool to go on there and see like the digital footprint that I've left behind for, you know, I don't know, since like 2006, 2007, when I started my online business. So my name and services are in a lot of places that I have no idea how they got there. So that was actually pretty interesting too. So as you're thinking about um, building an online business, hi Aya, thanks for joining. Um, as you're thinking about your online business, and as you're thinking about your audience, and as you're thinking about your content and all of that stuff, like what do you want out there in the world that's there forever, right? So the way I'm building my business and the way I've been doing it for the past year um, is building what's considered like my personal brand. So and that's been evolving, right? As I have evolved in my business, my personal brand has evolved, and I think I'm at the point now where it is like I know like my solid, clear direction on where my personal brand's going to go, where my online business is going to go. Um, so that doesn't mean that the person that I showed up as last November is different. You're just now seeing different facets of who I am as a person, as I'm sharing more, as I'm really coming into my own digital footprint definition, right? So for a lot of people, they want to build an online business, but they're a little iffy with the information that they share. Like, you may see someone share something that's like extremely vulnerable. And again, that's your your digital footprint. So it's out there forever, right? Whether it's a video, whether it, like, if you Google me, my TikTok comes up. Like, who knew, right? If you Google me, my YouTube videos come up. My YouTube channel comes up. So not only does my brick and mortar business come up, like now my online stuff is starting to be out there, and it's Googleable, right? If that's even a word, but it's a word for today. So um, just because someone is sharing their vulnerabilities as part of their personal brand, it doesn't mean that you have to, right? Um, just because someone is sharing their, personal struggles and what they did to overcome them, it doesn't mean that you have to, right? So, but just because you choose not to today doesn't mean that you won't in 6 months, doesn't mean that you won't in 9 months, doesn't mean that you won't in 12 months, 2 years, right? So the most important thing with creating your digital footprint is being authentic, right? You don't want to come out. I see so many people who have started with one thing and now they're trashing on that one thing and they're building up this one thing, right? So then they find another one thing. So now they're trashing on the previous two one things, right? So if that's not who you are as a person, like if you want to speak towards what you've learned from the products, the courses, the books, the coaches that you've had, that you've paid money to, um, then do that, right? If you want to be polarizing in a self-respected way, right? Because there is a way to be polarizing and have it be your opinions, your experience, and not have it be like negative and trashy, right? So um, just be really, really, really clear about what you want your digital footprint to have, right? So that's all I want to talk about on that for today. So that's going to develop over the next couple weeks, your digital footprint. So thinking about mindset in particular around the holidays, for those of you on here who celebrate the holidays in November and December, um, there can be, I was actually having a conversation about this with someone last week. There can be a lot of happy emotions that come up, right? Happy memories that you have, family traditions that you have. Um, but there can also be a lot of sadness that comes up, right? And if you're not clear about where these things are coming from, you're not going to be clear as to how it's impacting your online presence, right? You're not going to be clear how it's impacting your conversations that you're having with people. Um, your overall like tonality, your overall energy, just the way that you're showing up, right? So, um, so Spike asked, just asking, since there are a lot of hacker, do you think it's easy to hack our digital footprint? So, yes, absolutely. I mean, anybody can download your videos from online, right? They're not like trademarked. Um, Anybody can, I see it all the time. Like people that I know have like 4 and 5 imposter TikTok accounts, right? So, but honestly, like what really can they do with that information, right? So if you're putting your videos out there, right, on a YouTube channel, on TikTok, on Pinterest, on Facebook, on Instagram Reels, like if you're putting short form content out there, that's part of your digital footprint. Yes, people can download it and people can use it, right? but what are they going to what are they going to use it for, right? Um, I don't think there's any way, Aya, that you can avoid someone downloading your videos, right? They just can't, right? I mean, I have seen, for those of you watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'm going live across platforms, and I have some people asking questions on FUD. I don't think that you can avoid someone taking your stuff, because if it's not trademarked, right, then everyone has the rights to it. So, but nobody has the rights to delivering what you can deliver, right? Um, yeah, oh, I totally agree. It's quite annoying for someone to use your products without your permission, right? Absolutely. Um, but are you if you're creating, hey Jennifer, thanks for joining. But if you're creating something that's promoting a product that you've created, someone else's product, someone's digital product, someone's physical product, if you're creating content that is going to sell, so if you're creating product specific content, like say you have like a brand deal, right? Then if people are downloading your videos and using them to make money on that brand, well, yeah, that does stink, right? Especially if you're creating really good content. But to there is no way to prevent that unless your stuff is trademarked, right? And I don't know anything about any of that stuff, but it has to be trademarked in order for the to be copyright protections and all that stuff, right? So I mean, you see this with, movies and music and all that stuff, right? It's copyrighted. So um, but even the big people have a hard time with suing people for copyright infringement. So um, the way I choose to look at that, and the way I choose to keep my mindset as a growth mindset, and as not getting like stuck in the negative, is I look at it I look at it as a compliment. If somebody is going to download something that I produced, whether it's a longer form video, short form video, or something written, and they are then going to go use that, I look at that as a compliment, that I created something so awesome that people wanted to use it, right? That's just the way I choose to look at it, because I know I have no control and I have no power over changing what someone else is going to do, right? So that's just the way that I choose to look at that. And you know, um, oh, plagiarism. Oh yeah, absolutely, right. Um, using And if I use anything from any of my coaches, if I use it the way that they wrote it, that's the first thing I say. I am using this. It is not something I wrote. It's not something I created. It's from, X, Y, and Z. I have permission to use this as it is. So here it is, right? Um, but if I'm going to use bits and pieces of it and I'm really going to adopt it and use it as my own, then obviously that's not plagiarism, right? So, yes, if you are going to use something and you got it from someone else, give them credit, right? Give them credit. So, like if you see someone that, offered a really cool tip, right? And you want to share it, be like, hey, you know what? Like I found this tip. I'm going to share it with my audience, and here's how I'm using it. But I found it from her over there. You really should go follow her. Like, and that really comes down to whether you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset, right? Because if you have a growth mindset, you're going to know that there is an abundance out there, right? Where there is no scarcity and all that stuff. There's an abundance. There's an abundance of people on the internet. There's a billions of people in the world, right? Billions of people online. So by you giving credit to someone else for what you're doing and how you're using it, you're not going to lose customers, right? You're not going to lose a following. You're not going to, you're not going to be like cutting off possible income that you're going to make, right? I think that actually speaks to your integrity, and that actually speaks to your character and your ethics. So I would encourage you, Aya, to focus on what you're doing, what you can contribute, what you can control, and don't worry about what other people are going to be able to do with it, because that, in my opinion, is just like a lot of wasted energy. Um, So yeah, there's my 2 cents on that. And if you have stuff and you want it copyrighted, then work towards getting it trademarked, copyrighted, whatever the technical official term of that is. Um, but I mean, I think of great things every day that I think is like, this grand invention on my part, and it's actually not. It's out there and people are writing blogs on it and all this stuff, right? So but it doesn't mean that I can't use it as a concept for my own business, right? I actually just updated. Um, Actually, you're afraid someone use your profile to scam others. So interestingly enough, that you say that, Aya. So a friend of mine in affiliate marketing, he's Mexican, and some of his content he created in Spanish, right? And he discovered that there were a lot of people. Um, so there were a lot of people in Mexico that were starting affiliate businesses that were using his content, um, on their actual channel with their link to what they were selling. So they were using his short form videos to market for themselves, right? Because some of them were in English, some of them were in Spanish, right? So yeah, I thought that was interesting, but there's nothing he could do about it. So, but they weren't scamming anyone else, right? Because what he was saying in his videos was in alignment to what they were selling. It just wasn't them in the video selling that product, right? So yeah, so I don't know what you um what your online business is or what you're doing online, but um if people so it's kind of difficult for someone to use our content to scam someone else, because if your content is created in such a way, then if people are clicking on your link, then they're going to know where they're going. So if someone is using your content to scam someone else, what you're talking about is going to be different from where they're directed, right? So then the consumer hopefully is like, what the heck? Like this doesn't align with the video that I just watched, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, it is tricky out there. Like everything we put out there is for everyone to use, everyone to see, everyone to download, right? There's no way to make things that, I mean, you can, even with a document that you create, right? You can restrict it, but people can copy it, download it, and change it, right? So even with that, it doesn't really 100% protect you. So yeah, I would focus your energy on what it is you can control. Focus your energy on what it is that you have direct um, control over the outcome, and then just don't worry about what people are going to use things for, right? Because you really can't do anything about it. So um, so yeah. Um, it's Friday. I'm not usually online on Fridays, but took yesterday. And you're welcome for the tips. Hopefully they were helpful. Um, in my life, I live my life by the motto that if I choose not to be part of the solution, or if I cannot be part of the solution, then I don't even focus any brain energy on it, right? And actually, one of my coaches, I have his saying right here next to me. It says, "Stop." I don't know if this is something he came up with or something that he got from a book or his coaches or whatever. I just heard him say it, and he says, stop using your energy units on other people's shit, right? So that's kind of how I've always lived my life. So, yeah, don't sweat the stuff that you can't change, right? Don't sweat the small stuff. Like there's all different kinds of sayings out there. There's all different kinds of books out there. There's all different kinds of everything out there. So, um, yeah, it's a beautiful World Wide Web world that we're on out there, and it can be frustrating. It can be overwhelming, and part of my it's in beta phase right now, but part of my upcoming new project is all about kind of giving people the tools, the techniques, the armor that doesn't come with a lot of the online courses. Oh, thanks for all the likes. I see them all going. Um, it's going to speak to, online business, the intersection with mindset, and also it's going to arm people with all of the tools that I feel like a lot of the courses just don't speak upon in depth. So that's in the beta phase. Hoping to roll that out sometime probably in January. So yeah, so you guys get to hear all of my my ranting and my uh, squirrely thoughts and all that stuff. So yeah, so thinking about your digital footprint too. So when I first started, and now I know, you know, a lot of courses and stuff tell you like, don't worry so much on your profile picture. Like, don't worry so much on that stuff. Don't spend your energy on that stuff. But we do, right? Because we want our like, so to speak, online business storefront windows, right? Is our profile picture, it's our banner pictures, like that's our storefront. So we want people to be attracted to what they're seeing, and we want people to know what they're getting, right? So thinking about that, my my storefront has changed several times, and actually it just changed today. So preparing for 2023 and what I will be offering and what I'm going to be doing, um, I came up with what I think is a really awesome banner. And actually, it's going to be changing on FUD too. Um, so you're going to go through these changes. You're going to go through these different developments. You're going to go through um, these different parts of what your business is going to entail, right? You're going to buy different courses. You're going to work with different coaches. You're going to read different books. You're going to attend different webinars. You're going to watch different YouTube videos. And you're going to either immerse yourself in a paid product, or you're going to consume the free stuff that they offer, right? So, and you're going to pick and choose the different aspects of it that is working for you, right? So, yeah. So when I find myself, and I don't know, if anyone else aligns with this, but when I find myself in creative mode, um, is when I feel like my mind floodgates opened, and everything just comes flooding in. So I tend to be a pretty creative person, and um, I see things very quickly, and then I spend the time, building it, honing it in, adapting it, adding to it, taking out, and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's a pretty exciting time for me. I'm looking forward to ending this year, with, you know, the peeps that are going to jump into my 30-day coach in a pouch, um, product. So I'm looking forward to ending December with that, and starting January with some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today. That's all I got. Got to go pick up my car. I had to get a bunch of stuff done to my car, 30,000 mile services that needed to be done. So I got to go pick up that, pay a huge chunk of change. So yeah, so that's all I got. If anyone is interested in, oh, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Happy holidays to everyone who does celebrate the holidays. Anybody who is doing any cyber shopping, remember, stay within your budget. Do not overspend. So many people go into thousands upon thousands upon thousands of debt um, this time of year, and I I only buy for 4 people, so my expenses are fairly low, and my kiddos are two of those 4 people. So um, I've never been one on grand Christmases. So um, yeah. So if anyone, so the Coach in a Pouch, it does launch. It does start December 1st. So, just a quick shameless plug, if anybody wants to see what that's going to be, it is going to be an intense 30 days. Um, and it's going to be an intense 30 days because it's going to fill in a lot of the gaps that I have seen in the online space and in the world space. So, if anyone is interested in seeing that offer in its completion, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to send that to you. And I will be back, I believe, on Monday for next week's training. So, yeah. So, with the intensity of that, also, I probably will be cutting down to just one time a week for these. So, hope everyone has a fantastic. Oh, thanks for all the likes and hearts and thumbs up and everything. I really appreciate it. So, Annette, thank you for hanging out. I'm not sure if you're still here. I'm not sure if anyone is still here on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, but thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.